Welcome back to Minds on Media. Today we are going to be going through how to use the new Google Sites so students can create their own portfolios of their learning and to showcase their best work in an authentic way so that they can get it out there with the world so that people like their parents and grandparents can see all the amazing things that they've been doing. Another reason I really like using Google Sites as a student portfolio is when their website's being authentic, it really allows students a chance to go through the whole editing process. So they know that before work can go onto their website, it has to have been vetted out by using peer, self, and teacher feedback. And then that feedback really matters to them because they want their items to be the absolute best thing they can be because they're going onto their very own website that they know their parents can see. So I think that that authentic feel is so important for them. So let's talk about how we do it. So we are inside of a folder inside Google Drive called New Google Sites for Student Portfolios. And to start a new Google site for students, once they're in Google Drive, it's as simple as new, more, Google Sites. And this will automatically create a Google site for the students. It will set it all up for us, and we'll start by giving our page a title and a name. So our site is going to be called Example Student Portfolio. We can see here it automatically puts the name in. As you move your mouse around though, you'll see that things pop up as it happens. So over here I can start adding a logo to my website. So a logo is something that the students could design for themselves. And what I find really cool about the logos is it will automatically match page coloring to match their logo. So talking about art and things like that, I'm going to have my students create their own logos as their first art project, and that will go up onto their website as their first thing that they go in there, and then their website can be based around the colors that they choose so they can see the importance of color. But let's start off by giving our homepage a title, and this is called your homepage, so I just call it Student First Name Portfolio. And that's that. That's the first name of our portfolio. You can choose images for your portfolio's background for each page. Each banner can have a different image. The neat thing is, they have a gallery, so lots and lots of options from Google that they've designed. And students have fun going through these. You can, again, get it from URL, so different things on the website. You can go through your own albums, so things that you have, as well as any images that you have inside your own Google Drive. So if I click on recent, it'll show recent pictures that I have within my Google Drive, and I can have one of those as my background image. So I think it's very neat, and it does allow students to get a really professional feel, and everybody's website looks a little bit different. So I will pick that one because it gives it a nice student-y feel. And we can see here, I could reset, go back to the basics, or have a header type. So what I have here is a home page. And what I think is kind of cool with the homepage for my students is you can put in links. You can add things from Drive. You can see over here on the side, you can embed from YouTube, Google Calendar, Map, getting things from Google. So if they're creating within the Google suite of products, students can get anything that they've done right into their website seamlessly. For my students, what I did on their homepage was showcasing how to get a calendar so that our Google Classroom, which has a calendar with all the homework that's due, could automatically be embedded. And so for students to be able to do that, if you click calendar, it automatically pops up all the different calendars that you have. So for my class last year, this was their grade 6, 2016, 2017 calendar. And you can see it automatically pops it right in there. Another neat thing is moving things inside of Google Classroom or inside the new Google Sites is it's drag and drop. I can move this here, there, everywhere. I can change the size, and it just has a much slicker feel than when we were using the classic Google Sites. Another cool thing to put in is text. So you just double click anywhere, and it allows you to automatically upload different things. And you can click text. You could say, welcome, for my students, a welcome message talking about the purpose of their website. So that's that. So within there, you can see that we've got on the homepage a nice welcome message. We've got their name, picture that matters to them, a logo if they want, and a calendar already embedded right within there. So next thing they need to know how to do is to add pages. Again, adding pages in the new Google Sites is simple. It's one click of a button. I click on the Pages tab and press plus. And maybe this is going to be my art page. So I click on this, art, click new page. and done. So now I've got my art page, and again, I can add a logo, or my logo will continue on the way it was from the last page. I can change the header type. This is no header, so it's a nice plain background. And what students can do in here is insert different things. So they could have pictures of their best art. Something we did in my class with my students was I allowed them to, they each created their own Google slideshow, and on that Google slideshow, they'd post each piece of art that they did. And then beside that, they would describe the art and why it was important. And then they would just insert the slideshow itself right here on the page. Because if the slideshow's on the page, it will automatically update itself. So they never have to come back in again. They could just have a slideshow that takes up a large portion. And I'll show you what I mean. So insert slides, and I'll search art. And if it was art movements, this was the slideshow I wanted. Students could then have this as their biggest piece right here, a little description underneath of why it was there, and have this. And when people visit the page, every time there was new art, they would be able to flick through each of the slides and see all of the different art and why it was important to that student. So I found that really handy, and that's kind of a trick with Google Sites, is once you put it on the first time, if you're using an editable doc or an editable slideshow, you can just change that slideshow or doc, and it will automatically change on the website without any work. So let's go through the process of adding pages again and talk about one other way you could do it. So again, we click on pages and plus, and this could be our math page. So now I've got a math page, and what I did in math is I had students create a math blog, and they would write in it every 2 or 3 weeks talking about different concepts. But all their writing would just be on a Google document. And what they did is they just took the Google document and embedded it right here on the website. And that way, every time they made a new post, it would automatically show up on the website without much extra work. So you can see here's one of my students' math blogs from before. The other thing you need to remember, though, is that new posts should always be up at the top so that people don't have to scroll down the page to find all the newest and latest, greatest work. The other important thing to know when inserting, especially for your students, is that the sharing permissions on whatever you're inserting. So if it was on my art page here, I'd need to know what the sharing permissions were on this slideshow, because if it's restricted so that only if it's private, then no one will be able to see it when I publish the website. If it's only people with the link can see, you're okay. But if it's people within your district, then parents and grandparents won't be able to see it. And once you preview your website, students will find out pretty quick. So those are the kind of the basics of creating a student portfolio. The other few things we should talk about is publishing. At any point, you can publish your website. You can preview your website to see what it would look like to the public. And you can see, oh, cool, I can flip through my whole slideshow. That's great. I can go to all the different pages. I can see it from a home page. Oh, there's the calendar, there's the welcome message. And another neat thing is you can see what it looks like on a tablet or what it would look like on a cell phone. So you could even decide, oh, well, what do we want to make sure ours is optimized for? So once I'm happy with that and I'm ready to go, I can leave preview mode. I'm back into my editing mode here. You can add editors in Google Sites. So I can have more than one person working on the site with me, which is really nice. So for group projects this year, I had a lot of students create websites for themselves and then they would take the work that they've done and post links to it. You can also publish when you're publishing your website. The neat thing is, especially if you're creating it within your school domain, is you can have it published so that only people within your school domain can visit it, or you can have it public so that anybody on the web can do it. And at any time after publishing, you can unpublish your website too. Once you've published, it always ends up being the bottom piece and then whatever after the backslash. So it would be example portfolio. We can see that this is already been taken. Example portfolio 1, I could publish it and it would come up as this site. So that would be the one I can share with anybody I needed. So those are kind of the basics about using the new Google Sites to create student portfolios. The drag and drop feature is so nice. I had themes. There's only 5, which is why we didn't touch on them, but students will play with it. And once they get into it, I found that they really, really took ownership of it. And then it became something that they wanted to actively work on all the time. So highly recommend it. It is great. If you have any questions, please let me know. And